By definition, innovation is the multi-stage process whereby organizations transform ideas into new or improved products, services, or processes in order to advance, compete, and differentiate themselves successfully in their marketplace. As we know, this is no simple task. Enjoy a few helpful tips from Jack Ezon, an industry icon and friend who makes innovation look easy despite us knowing otherwise.
Thank you so much for joining us once again for another exciting talk. I am thrilled to be here with a dear, dear friend, somebody I respect hugely in the industry, Jack Ezon, the CEO of Embark Beyond.
You're making me blush, Tina.
Impossible. It's
Thank
so
you.
nice
I admire you and you so much. And you talk about energy. I mean, I think it starts with you.
I wish. Jack, I wanted to invite you here to talk about something that I think has been, everybody's dream, which is innovation. We've been going through a whirlwind, and it's like a never-ending tunnel that I think we're finally getting to the end. But innovation has been such an important part. How do you pivot? How do you move? How do you create? And you've been incredible when it comes to that. I always, very much look up to you. You're always creating things and you're executing them. You just don't have the idea, you put it in practice. And I think that ability is so special and it's so unique. And I'd love to start by hearing from you. What does innovation mean to you?
Well, that's a great question. First of all, necessity is the mother of invention. And I don't think there's ever been a more necessary time, not just because of COVID, but we're also a new company. Think about it, we're 2 years old. We celebrated our 1-year anniversary last March 1st. So,
Wow.
We needed to not just survive, but thrive. And we needed to take advantage of this time. The way that we found doing it, and it was a lot of, you say pivot, it was so many mini pivots because things changed. Be a customer-centric company. By being customer-centric, that means you listen to your customers, you hear their issues, and you try to solve problems. And so we become in the customer solutions business, right? Not just the travel business. So much so that we changed our mission statement of our company to be very quick and very short, to the point that we leverage our relationships to build connections. Because at the end of the day, that's at the core of what we do. And whether that's leveraging our friends at a hotel to build a connection so someone can go and stay at that hotel, or get access to the Louvre when it's closed, or whatever it may be, we're creating connections when people travel, right? Connecting people to themselves, the places they go, the people they're with, and the people they should know. And so that's what we really did. We changed our mindset, number one, right? Thought about our customers, and we did everything from the customer out. So listen to customer problems. I can't get into this country. I wish I could. My friend she has, she's another citizen of the EU, so she gets to go to Europe this summer and I don't. Boom, we get an idea to start a really successful dual citizenship program, which not only brings us new customers, but great revenue. We heard customers talking about wanting to stay long-term. So we decided to do something called Embark Longer, right? Listening to customers wanting to say 3 months somewhere, get me out of here. I don't need an office anymore. And so we created an idea to create mini leases at hotels for a month longer, where you don't have to even pay hotel tax because you create a lease. And that was great. But then we listened more to customers, and some of them didn't want to stay in a hotel. They wanted to stay somewhere more private, whether it's a house or even an apartment, for 6 to 8 months. And so we opened a brokerage house. Why not? We don't want to lose the customer. We created co-brokerage relationships around the country. And now we can make money on a 6-month rental or even a sale of that home eventually. And we are. We're thinking about revenue streams because we needed to stay alive, and needs for our customer. I think the most successful one was one of the first, which was our camp program. So many
That
of
was
our
so cool.
clients, right? They were crying. What are we going to do with our kids this summer? My summer, I don't know. I can't even leave my house. Where are we going?
It sounded like you. You were probably doing exactly that. It's not they were doing. That was you.
I
That
have
was
4
me
kids
too.
at home. What are we doing? And so, we put our heads together, started saying, well, we can bring counselors because there's all these camps that are closed. There's all this staff now that has nothing to do. And we brought on a camp director and literally developed a camp program that you could take to a hotel. So the parents can enjoy like a home office at any resort. And then the counselor would be with them, and it's a private kids club from like 8:30 to 5:30 with, programs in between. And I mean, the number of press hits we got from that, the number we had about, I think, almost 2,000 new customers we got that were never part of our realm, that some of them are spending $200,000 was incredible. And so again,
Unbelievable.
taking all of these things, but it starts with listening. It sounds too basic. Listening to your customer, being empathetic, and trying to solve the problems for your customer in a way that is still within the realm of what you do for them.
It's, again, what you do so beautifully is that you make it sound so simple, and it's none, I mean, I know it's none of the above, because just executing, I mean, having the idea is one thing, as I said before, executing it in such a delightful, simple, nice way is magic, to be very honest with you. It's time.
And you know that it's all about the people that work with you, right? I mean, I'm so blessed to have amazing partners. Like Julie Danziger puts me in my place every day. She builds the structure. Carol Ann Hughes is our marketing guru. She makes everything look smart, looks pretty, be slick and sexy. It takes a village. It's not just one or two people or me saying, wow, idea. Like you said, it's about the execution. And I'm not a one-man show, which makes it so great.
Some of those ideas are available to the travel community, right? There are ideas that people can tap into your structure. How does that work?
Well, look, obviously we give our own independent contractors and agents priority, but we believe that the rising tide rises all boats. And so literally when we did our academy with Harvard University, we let a couple of the other agency friends white label it. We didn't even need to make money. It was about, let's all raise this awareness and raise our business together. The passport program, other agencies are working with us. We'll take a much smaller percentage of that and work with them like a wholesaler almost, so that they can provide this to their customers. Because don't forget, someone else can spend $2,000 or $3,000 or $10,000 to get another passport. It's probably your customer. And now you just gave them access, whether it's in a year from now or in 10 years from now, to do other things, to work abroad, to explore without visas, whatever that may be. It's a client acquisition model, and it's a client engagement model.
Yeah, it's always, it's such an important tool for the future. My daughter has 4 passports, and people always told me, like,
Amazing.
why does that? And I said, I don't know. One day she might need it, and they go, why would she? I'm like, well, and then now it's like the whole world is open. She's like, I can go anywhere. So you never know, right? And these things tend to be like your key to the world eventually, maybe, hopefully not anymore, but you never know, right? It's important to be ready, which I think is fantastic.
But Tina, I think one of the most important things about innovating is not being afraid to fail. Because if you're afraid to fail, you will never really innovate, because you'll be too afraid to jump out of your bounds. So one of our philosophy is always prepare to fail and plan to win. You can't win every time, and we don't. There's plenty of times that we waste our time and go in circles about a dumb idea that just falls flat on its face. But okay, it's part of doing business, right? It's part of the job, and you learn from that.
I think you learn, but it is very scary, and it does require courage to be able to say it's okay to fail, because it hurts. Falling down hurts. I'm a skier. I don't want to fall. I know that if I don't fall, I'm not trying hard enough. So it's a balance between, I want to try hard, but
doing fitness really helped me learn that. It's funny you say that. When I used to be a couch potato. Then when I was training for a marathon, like, you learn that going outside your comfort zone is what helps you grow, right? And yes, you can always fail, and I fail all the time. My life story is about failures and wins. It's so much so that Sydney Novotny from Master Connection, who does our training, she made sure that every morning on lineup we talk not just about our wins but our fails, because the failure is where the education comes from. The failure is where the growth comes from. Being on top of the mountain is beautiful to look at, but the growth and that happiness and where you're going, it's when you go up that mountain and go up those stumbling blocks, and the grit that we're all going through right now, this grit, hard work. Look where we're going to be later. This is where our growth comes from. It's not easy. Yes. I'm exhausted, but we're very fortunate.
It is exhausting, but I'm sure that when we get past this hump, we'll look back and go, wow, it's like climbing Mount Everest. You want to stop. I haven't done it yet. It's on my list. You have, right? But I'm sure you don't
Kilimanjaro,
go.
not Everest.
Okay,
A
Kilimanjaro,
lot
but
easier. Yeah, similar.
it's still up there. And in that nature, there is that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I used to hate this. I went through a difficult time in my life, and people used to say that to me, and I used to get really upset because I'm like, I'm not any stronger. However, when more time goes by, because the biggest medicine in life tends to be time, it tends to resolve everything. I can look back now and think, wow, I survived it, and I'm a better person. I'm more empathetic. I'm more, I'm grounded. There's many things that come from that lesson. What is going to be the big lesson for you from this, from this whirlwind that we're living?
I don't know. Always be humble, always be closing, always be diversifying. I don't know. But look, it's a very humbling experience for everybody. I should hope some bit of, maybe this is too esoteric for people, but some bit of faith I think helps, because I really believe everything happens for a reason. And like you said, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I have a saying, my kids hate it, is iron has to go through fire to become steel. Sometimes we're all given challenges in life so that we can become stronger. We can become the steel. We can become creative. And you can either be a victim and complain about excuses all your life, or you can step up and be a hero, because every hero had their challenges. That's what makes them a hero. And every victim falls prey to their challenges. That's why they get nowhere in life, and they're always making excuses why they weren't anywhere. Same excuses. It's what you do with them.
Love that. Such a powerful message. Amazing. The initiatives you mentioned, which are plenty, and you've done so much. Do you believe they'll stick? Do you think that going forward, you're going to keep these initiatives? Were they just for a moment, or are they here to stay?
I don't know. It's too soon to tell. I don't think any of them will stay the way they are. They'll probably evolve. So our Global Academy, which is what we partnered with Harvard University to do, a one-on-one almost homeschool program from all over the world, like one-on-one extracurricular activities. We want to evolve that to be able to pair kids' 5 to 10-year trajectory of what they're going to be learning with travels. And so their travels are going to have almost like assignments. And like when they're learning biology in 9th grade, they may be going on safari to Galapagos with their family, or doing world history, they may do the French Revolution and do France and London, and have some fun activities that bring it all back and tie their academics in school to their travel. So what we can create, it's like a 4-dimensional education using the world.
Can I sign up? Where do I sign up?
Right?
Can I go to that? Like, get out of the way, kid. I want to go. Like, I didn't pay attention to history class. This is the time to go
It's so
back
much more
to
exciting
school.
when you're walking through history than reading it. But again, that's kind of where we're going with it, but I don't know where things will evolve. But we're open, and again, we're listening to customers, and it's changing so much faster than it ever did.
Do you think with this whole movement towards the digital, right? This is something, as we are right now, everybody's living in the digital. I don't think it's ever going to go away. How do you think it's going to change travel in our industry more than travel? I think people are always going to travel, but our industry, we were so physical, right? The travel industry was very connected physically, be it in trade shows mostly. I mean, I was doing 10 trade shows a year, be it in sales calls. I mean, we were, I can imagine, the number of people visiting your office all the time. How do you envision that?
I don't know, but my theory, what I'm hearing and seeing, is we're going to go through what I'm thinking is going to be macro messaging to micro networking. And so we may have a trade show going on the same time in 3 places with similar global messages, but much smaller networking opportunities. I think we're going to have to be doing a lot more micro, because people may not be in one place as much, whether it's at an office or a trade show with 6,000 people. We may have a trade show with 2,000 or have several of them. And so I don't know, but I think we're going to be going to smaller, more meaningful exchanges than larger ones that are more, how do I say, esoteric or ephemeral.
I think you're right. I think one of the things, no, and this is just a hypothetical. It's just a feel, because I think one of the things that we all realized is the power of connection, right? The how much we miss it, how much we want to be close to those that within our community and so forth. But also, how valuable our time is, and how, where do I want to be? Who do I want to be with? And so I think putting those two together, we'll come to exactly what you're saying, which is spending time and visiting and doing it, but in smaller groups. I would.
Yeah, but I don't think digital will replace human connection.
Never.
No matter what, through history, from Adam and Eve, there's always been something about humans that like to connect. I don't think that's ever going to go away. It might be somewhat diluted sometimes, but there's that innate need for us to have relationships, for us to see people face to face, to hug people. It's not going to go away. It may change in the way it looks. It may change the way we access it, but ultimately connecting to myself, to the people I'm with, to the places I go. We travel because we want to connect. We want to bond. We travel with friends because we want to build that relationship and have memories. It's all about that connection. People do business with people. They don't do business with products. You will never be successful if you just do business with products, because a product is a commodity that can be easily replaced. Loyalty is one from the heart and not the pocket.
That's so true. And I think there's also, when it comes to travel, an escapism, right? And also, some people say, well, why would you travel so much if I can experience so much digitally? I can do training, and yet there's nothing that's going to replace the smell, the touch, the feeling of the ocean. Being in Indonesia or being in Peru you can't replace that unless you go there and you see it and you experience it. And I think that's going to keep everybody traveling forever. It doesn't matter if it changes a little bit, right?
I believe so. I really believe so.
And so just to wrap it up, if you had a message, if you could send a message to the industry, we have a great audience with us, and I think that there is still, even though we're getting to the end of the tunnel, which is great, if there's still a need for motivation, for inspiration, for belief, for hope, for even though things are starting to move, what would you say?
Focus on opportunity. Focus on what you can do and not what you can't do. Accept no excuses and stay customer centric. Be in touch with your customers. Be proactive. Don't wait for anything to happen. Make it happen.
Wow. Were you just born like that? Do you just whoa. There is a word for me for this year that I shared it with a few friends at the beginning of the year, which I think more than ever, it's movement. We need to keep moving. Whatever you do, don't stop. If you're not even sure you're going in the right direction, you're better off keep going than staying. Whatever you do, just move, and pivot. And even if you do this, it's better than staying still, because movement in itself, it generates energy, and that right now more than ever, at least for me, and I know it kind of connects with you, is so important. We need to be creating energy, because otherwise the thing can get complicated, right?
Oh my God, so lucky. It's the right attitude.
Jack, thank you so much for joining us. I love to chat with you. Any excuse, I'll always throw you in the
I'll never say no to you either. I love it. As far away as we are, wherever we are. Thank you for the opportunity.
No, it's my pleasure. I'll send you a big kiss. Hopefully I'll see you very soon.